BXB. It's in the game!
Hey guys, it's me Ben, back with another one of my quick reviews for BXB games. This time I am looking at Serial Cleaner by iFun4All and Curve Digital. And as you saw from some of that intro there and some of the music playing, this game oozes style. Oh, you know it. It's set in this 70s world. It's 2D, it's top down, it's got a great 70s inspired soundtrack, and it's got this, what almost looks like sort of a papercraft cutout 2D hyper stylized visual, which works for and against the gameplay. Now the gameplay, you're playing this, gentlemen, you are the serial cleaner. You clean up horrible messes left by murder and mayhem and destruction. So you're picking up the evidence, you're picking up the bodies, you're cleaning up the blood. It's a fairly simple concept. It's a really cool concept, it's a really fun concept, and as you see in the video I'm playing here, this is the tutorial stuff at the beginning of the game. I didn't want to give away any of the later levels because that would probably be like puzzle solutions and things to that effect, so I didn't really want to spoil that. The game isn't easy though. That's the biggest problem I have with this game, and it is sort of one of those things where it's a very easy thing to say and it could be considered unfair. Maybe, you know, my critics would say to me, you know, get better at games. Now in this game it's a stealth action game, so you're going around, you're picking up these bodies and evidence, you're trying to avoid the vision cones of the police officers or the security guards or other such things. And that seems simple enough to grasp, and it really is easy to grasp. However, the game just isn't that much fun. At least it wasn't for me. While the levels are fairly self-contained and the objectives easy to understand, it's an instant fail state game. So you get caught once, you have to restart the level again and again and again. And it's all well and good, because you can remember the patterns of the guards, you can memorize them, you can see how their visual cones overlap, and they will repeat on a level by level basis. However, where the evidence and the bodies are placed will change, or can change to a certain degree. It's not completely random, but there are random-ish spawn points for those items. So you can't just memorize a route through, you have to be able to think on your toes, and that's fine. That makes the game far more interesting, obviously. However, it means the difficulty spikes, and it spikes hard very early on in this game, and I think you're going to find a lot of people bouncing off this title because while the presentation and the art style is incredibly quirky, and I guess to be fair, you know, the developers and the publisher already has your money at this point, you're going to find it hard to stick with this title because you're just throwing yourselves at the wall of failure again and again and again. Now, unlike, say, a Super Meat Boy, which is my favourite example of a fast respawning action game or platforming game, you know, those levels are very sort of short and bite-sized, and you can often get through them very quickly. Serial Cleaner requires a lot of trial and error, and obviously as you get to understand the mechanics of the character and what he can do and the levels, it will become simpler. However, I failed multiple times at the very last hurdle. For example, I got all the bodies, I got all the evidence, I had all but 1% of the randomly prescribed blood cleaned up, and then I got spotted and I had to do it all again. And then, or I'll do it another time and I got everything but one body out, and then I got spotted and I had to do it all again. And it's just, that doesn't make the experience particularly enjoyable, and it's a shame because the art, like I mentioned at the top of the review, the art is brilliantly stylized, but it doesn't actually help, you know, you're getting around the levels. It's not always that obvious what objects in the level will block the vision sights or the vision cones of the police officers or the security guards. It's not always clear what they will see through. And fine, you can do a pullback view, you can get a good idea of the location before you go in, you can watch and wait and watch and wait the patterns. But I don't know about you, the game presents itself in a way which makes you feel like you can just get in there and try things and react, but really what it wants you to do is study those patterns of those the guards and then sort of plan and execute your way through the level, and I just didn't find that much fun. And it, like I said, the style and its obfuscation of the mechanics isn't great, but I can't fault it for looking stunning, and I certainly can't fault it for the amazing soundtrack. It's just a shame the gameplay on a moment-to-moment basis isn't that much fun for me. I just found, I want to say more better things about this, I want to say how much more I love this game, but I just didn't. I kept on coming against this wall, and for that reason I can only give Serial Cleaner 3 out of 5 stars.
BXB. It's in the game!